You are standing still because you have been instructed to stand still. The stone beneath your feet is cold, uneven, worn smooth by centuries of boots. You do not know the name of this place. No one has told you. You have been moved too many times for names to matter. You know only the smell, iron, smoke, animal fat, and something older, the smell of things that have passed from ownership to inventory. Around you, men speak a language you do not speak. Their voices are low, tired, methodical. There is no shouting, no excitement. What happened to your village is already finished. What happens now is administration. A voice reads aloud, not names, quantities. The Roman army does not record chaos. It records outcomes. After the fighting ends, after the last resistance collapses, the work continues. Weapons are counted. Animals are tallied. Structures are marked as seized or destroyed. And then there is a separate category written in a different hand, captivi captives. You are not listed as a person. You are listed as a result. The official histories describe the campaign as decisive. The pacification of Gaul is presented as a correction, a restoration of order to lands described as unruly, divided, insufficiently governed. Roads would be built, taxes standardized, law imposed. This is how it is written, this is how it is remembered. What is not written is how order begins. Order begins with sorting. Men are separated first. Those old enough to have carried weapons are either executed quickly or assigned for labor, depending on demand. Depending on demand, children are set aside, assessed not by age but by usefulness. Women are classified last, when the urgency has passed, when the fires have burned low. You are placed in that final category. He does not look at your face, he looks at your teeth, your hands, the way you stand. He makes a mark on a wax tablet. The mark does not correspond to your name. It corresponds to a standard. Healthy, intact, transferable. This is not improvisation. Roman military law permits prey to war spoils. It is not theft, it is compensation. Soldiers are paid, but not fully. Victory is expected to supplement wages. Land, metals, livestock, and human beings are all eligible, provided they are properly distributed and recorded. You are not taken at random, you are allocated. The legion maintains discipline by regulation. Looting without authorization is punishable. Rape outside sanctioned conditions is punishable. The difference matters. Violence is not absent, it is scheduled. A centurion signs a document. Another man countersigns it. The tablet is sealed. You are no longer a captive in motion. Property of the legion. The phrase does not appear in poetry. It appears in inventories. Once assigned, you are moved behind the lines into temporary enclosures constructed for this purpose. The fencing is crude, but the procedures are precise. Guards rotate on schedule. Rations are calculated to keep you alive. Not well. Death before transfer is considered a loss. Inside the enclosure, language collapses. Women from different villages, different tribes, different customs are gathered together, all stripped of the markers that once distinguished them. Hair is cut, jewelry removed. Clothing replaced with rough garments that signal status immediately and unmistakably. You do not speak to one another at first. Not because you are forbidden, but because speech feels unnecessary. At night, the sounds begin. Footsteps, keys, laughter carried from outside the fence. What happens is not recorded in detail. Roman documents are economical. They note outcomes, not sensations. But the absence itself is revealing. Entire categories of experience are simply not worth writing down. The law does not consider you violated. The law considers you used. There are rules. A soldier may not permanently damage property belonging to the legion. Pregnancy is inconvenient. Injury reduces value. These considerations shape behavior more effectively than mercy ever could. One sticks in when you taken repeatedly. Some are left alone, not by choice, but because the demand has been met elsewhere. This randomness is later remembered as fate. At the time, it is logistics. Weeks pass. Eventually, you are marched again, this time toward permanence. You are presented, examined, and transferred. Sometimes to a veteran as part of his discharge compensation. Sometimes to a merchant who specializes in secondary distribution. Sometimes to an estate that requires labor of a specific kind. At the moment of transfer, your status changes again. You are no longer legion property. You are private property. Your previous life is not erased ceremonially. It is simply rendered irrelevant. You are given a new designation, often a generic one. Names are reused. Individuality complicates accounting. On the estate, your role is defined quickly. You are taught what is expected, not through instruction, but through repetition. Work, obedience, silence. The system does not require your understanding, only your compliance. Violence continues, but it changes form. It becomes corrective rather than acquisitive. The same restraint applies. Damage reduces value. The official record would describe this as integration. The province stabilizes, roads are completed, markets reopen, taxes flow, the conquest is declared successful. Senators debate policy far away, citing figures that confirm order has been achieved. Your existence does not contradict this narrative, it enables it. Years later, a letter survives, written by a minor administrator to his superior, complaining about shortages and delays. In one line, almost casually, he mentions the woman from the northern village who no longer answers to any name. The line ends there, no elaboration, no curiosity. That fragment is all that remains, not because nothing else happened, but because nothing else was necessary to record. The Roman world prides itself on law, on reason, on structure, and it is precisely these qualities that allow this system to function without visible cruelty. No single act is exceptional. Each follows from the last, justified by precedent, authorized by custom. This was not disorder. This was administration. From conquest to enclosure, from inventory to transfer, from public property to private ownership, the process unfolds without interruption. No one needs to hate you. No one needs to remember you. By the time the legion moves on, the land is quiet. The rebellion is over. The reports are filed. The province is listed as secure. Somewhere within it, you continue to exist alive, unnamed, compliant, counted only insofar as you remain useful. The civilization that absorbed you considers this outcome successful. And within that world, no question is ever formally asked about what was taken, only about what was gained. So one question remains unspoken, suspended in the same air you now breathe. Unanswered and unanswerable. If order requires this, what then was order meant to serve?